First of all, thank you everyone. Thank you all who are attending, and thank you Simon and all the team to organize this super great event. There are still some great session today and the couple of days after. And don't forget also that this event is the main topic and the main subject of this event is, of course, to learn some new things, discover some new things, see what are the challenges that we have with the Power platform in general environment. But it's also about to raise funds for the children. So really, if I think that every penny counts. So if you're able, just click on the donate button, and even if it's one penny or 1 cent or one euro, it's always I think a good thing to do. So before jumping into the session, I want you really to enjoy this session somehow. I want this session to be a bit of a laid-back session, and just to have fun. Yeah, just have fun with the Power Apps. Either you come from you already have some experience in the Power platform or the Power App environment, or you're completely new. Just sit back and then see what we can create, what kind of application that we can create, with zero code, and just drag and drop, configure some components, make them talk talk well together, and hope you will enjoy the session. As we were saying, my name is Ala Bitar. I'm basically an IT application architect. I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. I work for a company called Cassination in Switzerland, in Bern. Basically, at Cassination, we build robots, real robots to help surgeons do surgeries. Two types of surgery. The first surgery is quality ablation. So it is about having a surgery where the patient, where the operation is less intrusive as possible. And the other operation is to implant audio devices behind the ear to help patient hear again or hear better. We provide those robots to help surgeons and to guide them in those surgeries. I have to tell you, I'm guilty as charged, as we say. I'm a SharePoint addict since 2007. Basically, I discovered this technology in my first at the beginning of my professional career, and I just kept going, working with this technology. That time it was SharePoint on-prem, and then with SharePoint Online and Office 365 and M365 now. You can find me on LinkedIn. I have also a YouTube channel. It is Power Appsable, where I share some pretty easy to create some good application around the Power App platform. I have also a blog and a GitHub where I usually put most of the content that I produce available for you to download to play a bit. So the agenda is super simple. I just have two or three slides before we jump into the demo. Before we jump into creating like this fun application to create a dictaphone application together. We're gonna create it together. So just one slide about the M365 ecosystem. What I really want you to understand and to realize is that the Power Platform, the M365 are a whole ecosystem made of different kind of application that enable us to exchange emails, create chat, engage people around some ideas. We can do some telephony with Microsoft Teams, for example. We can create content, and this content is available on our PC, on our tablets, on our mobile. Whatever you have, a Windows, a Mac, an iPhone, Motorola or Samsung or any Android-enabled device, you can access this ecosystem. You only need to sign in. You only need your Office 365 account logged on, and then you are in this amazing ecosystem of application that can talk with each other and really create a great environment. I really love this periodic table from Gentoo 365. It really show us the different bricks, the different environment in the Office 365 periodic table per se. So today we are going to focus on this guy, on the Power App. We are going to create a Power App application, but we will see that this Power App application can, in one line of code, talk with the Outlook, for example, to send email through the Power App application, for example, and so on and so forth. I just wanted you to really have this image and really understand that when we engage this platform, this environment, the Office 365 or the M365 environment, we have access to a whole bunch of environments that talk with each other in order for us to be able to create great applications in really no time. So a couple of years ago, creating the application that we are going to create now would have taken us, I don't know, 3 or 4 more the time that we are going to spend today in the session to create it. So, demo time. Let's really dig into it and let's together create this application, build it bit by bit together with no code, no lines of code, no C#, no JavaScript, no whatsoever. We just a browser, mouse, the keyboard, and a couple of knowledge, and just know how to wire all the different components. So let's go. All right. Okay. So to create a Power App application, basically I have to log in to what we call the Power App Studio. It is the place that enables us to create Power Apps application. So to access this Power App Studio, I can either go to make.powerapps.com, log in with my Office 365 account, and I have access to the studios. Within the studio, I have the home page where I can access the different application that I already created. I can learn about the Power App platform with some great contents. If I go to the apps, I can see the different apps that I either created or that were shared to me as well. And of course, I can create a new app and import apps that for example, that someone else created. For example, if you go to my GitHub, you can download an already built application. That ends kind of a zip file, just a different extension. You take this package, you come to import Canvas app, you upload it, and boom, it's yours. You can play with it. You have access to it. You have access to the somehow a source code of it, you can change it and so on and so ever. And of course, you can create an application. This is a really nice feature. I think it's the most important feature that we are looking at that for our demo. Basically, we have, as you can see here, we have 3 different kind of application that we can create. But today, what we are going to focus and the kind of application that we are going to create is a Canvas app. Basically, it's like a blank page, or at least we're going to start with a blank screen, and then we're going to create our application. The other 2 are out of the scope for today's session, but just to let you know, the portal application is basically if you want to create an intranet site, a website, using the Power App platform. So it's like a public-facing URL that can be accessed without any kind of authentication, or the model-driven app. It's another kind of application, but that starts with from the CRM or from Dynamics. Usually, it starts from Dynamics in order to create an application. But let's not waste time on this now. We're going to focus on a Canvas application. So before jumping into creating like the beginning to creating our application, I just wanted for you to have a look on all these almost production ready application that you can leverage and use with directly. The meeting capture, service desk, lead request, fundraiser, my expense, assets checkout, and so on and so forth, employee engagement survey. Those are applications that are available for you, that were built and were packaged by the Microsoft team, the Power App team, created for you, and you can just click on it. It will provision the application for you with the right template, and boom, you can already directly be able to use it. So, or at least you can have a look, and you can access the source code of the application somehow, even though it's not really a source code, but you have access to all the configuration, to all the components that are in this in those applications. So if you want to start, have a look, just pick one of those templates, provision it into your Office 365 tenant, and that's it. You already have access to it. You can play with it, play with the button, see how the different screens as well interact, and that's it. So before I'm going to hit the Canvas button, I just want to show you the end result that we want to achieve. So I've already created a dictaphone application. So I'm just going to load it. And basically, this is what we are going to create. We are going to create an application that has a button that I can hit this button. I can record, test. This is something to remember, and then hit the stop button, and then it's gonna record and save my voice, and I can click the play button and hear it again. I can hit the send button, and then it's going to send an email to me with the audio as attachment. And if I don't need it again, I can just click the this bin button, and it will be removed from the list of the different voices that I recorded. So without further ado, let's go. Let's do it. So I clicked on the create button. So I'm going to create a Canvas application from blank. I'm not going to start with a template, or I can start also from a data. For example, if I already have some data in SharePoint, in an Excel file, in a SQL database, whatever, I can choose to auto-generate an application around the existing data that I have. But today, we're gonna start without data because we don't have data. We don't have any recorded voice yet. Okay, so click on the create black canvas button. Let's give it the name, Dicta, let's say Dicta Voice app. Okay, and I can choose the format. This is at this point it is important. It's just going to define the layout of the application. If it is going to be more to fit more on a phone, so that the screen will be like more vertical, or will have some more places and to be fit on a tablet. Let's either way, but let's choose a phone layout. So I click the create button, and then the Power App Studio will generate a blank application for me. You see in a couple of seconds. So basically, I have like this white screen that I can add some components. So when you start with on the tree view. By default, you have only one screen. Your application is made of only one screen. If you want to add screens, you just hit the new screen button, and then you can add screen. You can add another blank screen, or you can also add screens that are already have some templates. For example, if you want to display a meeting kind of screen, or a calendar, and so on and so forth. So basically, it will provision for you those kind of screen. For now, we only need the one screen. So when we want to add a component to a screen, super simple. From the ribbon button, we hit the insert button, and now here, as you can see, you have all the different components that you can add. So it goes from the label to a button to whatever kind of text, input text, HTML text, rich text editor, different kind of input as well, button, checkboxes, radio button, toggle, timer, and so on and so forth. There are different items. For example, you have the media, where you can access put some image, or what it is interesting for us, the microphone component. So I just hit the microphone component, and boom, I already have like a kind of button that I can drag and drop whenever I want on the screen, and already start to play with it. When I want to test an application in the Power App platform, basically I can just hit the play button on the top right. So I hit play, and my application is like in live mode, and I can do whatever I want. And when I'm done, I just hit the X button. So I can back to the edit mode of my application. Or on the keyboard, if you hit the Alt button, the application goes to live mode, and you can access it directly. You can access the functionalities directly. Whenever you release the Alt button, after it's done, whenever you release the Alt button, the application goes back to the edit mode. So if we remember, we want to save our voice. So from our microphone button, okay, let's put it on the top, but at the middle. How can we put it at the middle? I'm not going to, see the width of my screen and the width of my component, and just at some point choose the corresponding X. We can leverage the kind of formulas that will be dynamically evaluated at runtime, and then for example, we want to position our button in the middle of the screen. So the X and Y defines where you want to put your component in the screen. So the X is the horizontal and the Y is the vertical. So if I want to place my button on the middle of the horizontal axis, super simple. I select my component. I can access, whenever you select a component in the Power Apps Studio, you can access to the properties in two ways. You have on the right side, you have the different properties that are available directly here. So the common properties or the advanced properties are available directly from here, or from the upper left section of the screen. From this drop down, you can also access all the different properties of a component. So I select the button, I select the X property, and then I can just say up dot width. So this represent the app object represent my application. Dot width represent the width of my application. So, but I wanted to put it in the center, so I have to put it to say that I want the width divided by 2. Okay. So this will put my button, my component, at the middle, but the component has a certain width. So I want to subtract the half of the width of my component, so it's really centered on the screen. So I can just do minus, and then how can you reference a component? So basically, you can reference a component in 2 ways. You can reference a component by its name. So for example, let me just rename it and call it micro, not microphone 1. You can take its name and directly reference it in any formula. So I can say micro.width divided by 2, just put some parentheses for user readability. So now I see that my component is straight in the middle of my screen, or because I'm getting a reference to the component from one of its own properties, I can use the self keyword. So whenever you are in a component, you can use self. So self references the current component. So for example, if I add a button, and here, for example, on the whatever property I use, the self reference, here self references the button, not the microphone. So whenever you use the self keyword, it references the current component. Okay, just to let you know. So here we have finally our button to record. So, and it is centered in the center of the screen. So I can, whenever I click, it records automatically whatever it's hearing from the microphone, and I can stop. But what I want is to save this record. So again, I select the component, and if I look on the different properties of the component, I see that I have an onStart and onStop property. So basically, as you probably guessed it, the onStart is the event whenever I click on the button, on the microphone button, and the onStop is basically when I hit the stop button. So what I want is that when I click on stop, I want to take what the component recorded from the microphone and put it in some kind of a variable. So if we want to create a variable in the Power App platform, super simple. We can use the set function. Set function basically takes two parameters. The first one is the variable name. So let's say I want to name it audio file. And then the value. What is the value that I want to assign to this particular variable? Basically, it is self.audio. Self.audio, the audio property represents the content that has just been saved by the microphone. Okay, so if I click the start button, I click the I click play, and then I hit the start button. It's recording, and I hit stop. What happens is that the on-stop event was triggered, and then the audio content that the component just recorded has been put in the audio file. Now, it's not really what I want, because what I want is to be able to save multiple voices. So using a variable that can just hold one object is not what I really want. What I want is like an array or a collection. In the Power App environment, we call arrays or variables that can hold multiple objects. We call them a collection. So in order to use a collection, I cannot use the set function, but I can use the collect function that takes a collection. So let's name it audio files. And then each time this function is called, the audio property object is put in the audio files collection. So whenever I hit the play button, I hit the start, record, hit stop, the audio property goes into the our audio files collection. But let's go a bit deeper, because at the end, okay, super, okay, it's nice to save the audio, but let's go a bit deeper and save another information. Let's say the recorded date and time. So now what I want to store in my audio files collection, in my audio files array, if you want, is an object that is made of two properties, the audio properties and, let's say, recorded on property. So how you can create an object that has different, not different, but multiple properties in the Power Platform, it looks like a JSON format. So I can just open bracket, and here I say that I have an audio property that is equal to self.audio, but also I have a recorded on property that is equal to the now function. The now function just take the current date time and we are putting it in the recorded on property. So now whenever I click the start button, I record the voice that I want to record. I hit the stop button, and what is happening is that I'm creating an object that has an audio property that is binded to the self.audio property of my component, and another property that is called record on that has the current date time that when I hit the stop button. So click the play button, I click start. So hello, this is a voice to remember. I hit the stop button. So I have an object that has been populated in my _ audio files collection. I hit again the record button. Hello, this is a second voice, for example, and I hit the stop button. What happened is that now if everything went well, I basically have two objects that were added to my collection. Now, okay, super, great. We we saved our voice, but now we want to be able to play it back, or at least see the different voices that we recorded. So to be able to display information that are binded to a collection, or what we call it a data source in the Power App environment, in the Power App platform, we can use the component, super great component called Gallery. Gallery basically is a component that takes as items a certain data source or a collection of objects, and be able to loop into each item of our collection and display the different properties. So like the new screen, you can have different templates, but you can also have like blank templates. So we're gonna use the blank vertical because we want to display our items vertically, sorry, not horizontally. So I click on the gallery vertical. I can just put it just below my microphone. I can tell it to take the whole screen. Now, okay, I have this container that is called the gallery. So let's just rename it by gal so records, say. Okay, so I want this gallery to display the different audio files that I recorded. So I have to assign the items property. The items property is like the data source of my gallery. I have to make the items, the data source of my gallery equals the audio files collection. I know that my gallery is going to loop to each item in my audio files property. Okay, so now I can add an item inside of my gallery for each record to be displayed. So I can add, for example, a label. Okay, a label, I can just position the label wherever I want. So by default, the Power App environment assign the audio property for my label, but I don't want to use the audio property inside of a label. I want to use the recorded on, so I can see at what time the voice has been recorded, and I can even do some concatenation. So, for example, I can say recorded on and the end. So I'm concatenating the recorded on label with the time.recorded on property of my of the voice that I just recorded. Okay, so I can see that I have two voices that were recorded on 6 p.m. and 17 p.m. Okay, now I want to be able to play the audio. Okay, so super simple. I go to the media in the ribbon menu, and I choose the audio component. And the audio component is basically a small player. I can choose to place, for example, whenever I want. Let's put it like that. Okay, and the media property of the audio component is the content that you want to play back. So the content that I want to play back is my current item. So we have to imagine that the gallery is looping through all our items. Okay, so each item is referenced in the gallery as this item. This item represents the current item that the gallery is looping. So I want to attach the media property of my audio component to this item dot audio, because this item dot audio, it is the audio property that holds the content that I just recorded. If we remember, whenever I hit the stop button, I'm putting the self.audio, the content that I just recorded, into the audio property. So I want to play it back. It is the audio property that I have to bind to the media property of my microphone component. Okay. So now if I hit the play button, and so I see that I have the two different voice that I recorded. I can record, of course, a new one. Hit stop button, and it's directly shown here, and I can choose to play whatever voice that I want. Okay, good. We are almost done. We have to now. Okay, great. You are going to tell me, okay, wow, it's a great application. I can record and I can play it back. But come on, let's go a bit more deeper and integrate the Power App application, the Power App environment into, for example, Outlook, and to be able to send the voice by email, for example, for later to review it or to listen it again. Just Simon, how much time do I have left?
Around like 4 minutes. 4 minutes. You have around 4 minutes. You cannot hear me?
I'm not hearing you, Simon. Okay, all right. Sorry. Okay.
Check.
I think I have 5 minutes left. Okay. So we want to send the voice by email. So we go to the icons and we select, for example, whatever icon that we want to select. For example, this one. Oops, sorry, I didn't add it to my gallery. So I go to icons and I hit the send button. Okay. So basically, it's just an icon. I could have selected a button or whatever component, but I think it's a nice icon that really represent the kind of action that we want to accomplish. So to be able to send email through the Power App environment, we have to add some connector, some email sending per se connector. So we have to go to the view and then to the data sources. And here in the data sources, we can add different connectors. So we're going to leverage the Outlook connector to send email. So you just hit the add data to add a new connector. You select the Outlook, Office 365 Outlook connector. It just takes a couple of seconds. Okay, so now the connector has been added to my Power App application, so I can leverage its functionality. So if I choose if I click again on the send icon, now here if I want to send an email, so I can go to Office 365. Oops. Okay. Office 365 Outlook. So here I have all the different functions that I can access. So the one that I'm looking into is the send email. So the send email takes 3 mandatory parameters: to whom you want to send an email, in our case, I want to send an email to me. So how I can send an email to me dynamically without hard coding the email, and if every user, different user access the application, I don't want the other users to send an email to me. I want to send to each user wants to send an email to them, to each one. So dynamically we can leverage a component that is called user in the Power App environment. So user represents the current user, the user that is currently logged into the application. So we can access different set of properties. We can leverage the email. Then the subject we can add a voice recorded on, and then we can add the recorded on property, for example. And as body, I can put voice to remember. Okay, and now the component, the function is displaying the not required properties that you can access, but the one that is interesting for us, it is the attachment property, because we want to attach in the email, as the body of the email, the voice. So let me just grab my cheat sheet up, and I will explain it to you. And sorry, I forgot one thing. And this one. Okay, and let me format text. So basically, when you want to attach a file, when you send an email, you leverage the attachment parameter of the send email function, and this basically this parameter takes as input an object that's called a table that has a name and content bytes. So name, you can name it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. So you can put, like, for example, audio. You can name it audio recorded on, and this item dot recorded on, and for example, and then the content byte is the content of the email that has the content of the attachment. So whenever I hit the send button, it will leverage the send email function, and then send it to the current user the current audio. So just to go last little bit function is that the send email returns true or false if it properly sent the email or not. So I can just set the result of the function and then test it. Sorry. So if underscore result, sorry, if underscore result, okay, notify is a function in the Power App environment, just to, like a pop-up, just to display some information. So email sent, or let's, in the other case, if the email not sent, okay, check, and let's just try it. Hit the play button, and I click the send, and I have the email sent. And let's just go and double check in Outlook. I just received an email, voice recorded on with the date, time, and as attachment the audio file that I can play directly, for example, in the in Outlook, or I can download it. And yeah, I think that's it for me.